Welcome to the Victorian era, a time of elegance, invention, and intense social rules. From glittering ballrooms to gloomy factories, Victorian society was a world of contrasts. Today, we'll step back into the 19th century to uncover how people lived, loved, and struggled under Queen Victoria's reign. Stay tuned, because life in the Victorian era wasn't all lace and manners. It was a world built on appearances, secrets, and strict social codes. Victorian society was sharply divided by class. At the top were the upper classes, wealthy landowners, aristocrats, and industrial magnates. They lived in luxurious mansions, hosted lavish balls, and dressed in elaborate silk and velvet. Their days were filled with tea parties, hunting, and social visits. But for the working class, life was very different. Millions toiled in factories, mines, and slums. Children as young as 5 worked long hours for pennies. Diseases spread easily in crowded neighborhoods, and poverty was a daily battle. Still, the Victorians believed in progress, and even the poorest dreamed of climbing the social ladder through hard work and respectability. Victorian life ran on strict rules of etiquette. Every movement, word, and gesture had meaning. A proper Victorian lady had to be graceful, modest, and never raise her voice. She couldn't walk alone without a chaperone or speak too freely to a man. Men were expected to be dignified, polite, and well-read, always tipping their hats to women and avoiding any display of emotion in public. Even something as small as how you held your teacup could reveal your class. Yes, there was a right and wrong way to drink tea. Victorian romance was complicated. Love was important, but marriage was often a business deal. Wealth, reputation, and family background mattered more than affection. Young ladies were presented to society during their coming-out season, hoping to attract a suitable husband. Courtship was formal and supervised. Couples exchanged letters, danced at balls, or took brief walks under watchful eyes. For the poor, love was simpler but harder. Many couldn't afford to marry at all, since marriage meant supporting a household. But behind closed doors, the Victorians weren't as prim as they seemed. Their fascination with romance, desire, and even scandal-filled novels, gossip papers, and secret diaries. Women were expected to be angels of the house, devoted wives and mothers who upheld morality and comfort. Yet, many women pushed back. The late 1800s saw the rise of the suffrage movement, with women demanding education, jobs, and the right to vote. Writers like Charlotte Bronte, Elizabeth Gaskell, and George Eliot gave voice to women's struggles through literature. By the end of the Victorian age, women had begun stepping out of the parlour and into public life, forever changing the world's view of what women could be. Despite its seriousness, Victorian society loved entertainment. Theatres, music halls, and operas were packed with people seeking escape from everyday life. Families enjoyed parlour games, charades, and storytelling by the fire. For the wealthy, leisure meant horse riding, croquet, and grand dinner parties. For the poor, it might be a day at the local fair or watching street performers. And let's not forget the birth of new pastimes. Photography, rail travel, and novel reading became wildly popular. Authors like Charles Dickens and Arthur Conan Doyle thrilled readers with tales of mystery, morality, and adventure. But beneath the surface glamour lay shadows. Cities like London were riddled with poverty, pollution, and crime. The foggy streets of Whitechapel became infamous for their danger, and stories like Jack the Ripper haunted the night. Child labour, harsh punishments, and social inequality plagued Victorian life. The workhouses, government-run shelters for the poor, were grim places of despair. And yet, out of this suffering came reform. Social activists like Charles Dickens, Florence Nightingale, and Lord Shaftesbury fought for change, inspiring a more compassionate society. The Victorian era shaped the modern world. It gave us railways, photography, the telephone, and the idea of progress itself. It also gave us a complex legacy, one of innovation, hypocrisy, and hope. The Victorians dreamed big, worked hard, and built a society that was both magnificent and deeply flawed. So next time you sip your tea, stroll through a city park, or open a classic novel, remember the Victorians. They lived in a time of incredible change, where manners mattered as much as machines. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and tell us, what part of Victorian life surprised you the most?